The lesson outcome for this video is, I can find measures of central tendency. So you've probably seen these words before, mean, median, and mode. These are the measures of central tendency, meaning how does the data tend to look in the middle, the center. So if you're talking about the height of all the students in a classroom, you would take all the heights and you could find the mean height, which is another word for average, or the median height, which is the middle value. I'm going to show these definitions in a second, or the mode, which is the most common height, which helps you look at the data as a whole. So here are some definitions. The mean is found by adding all the values in a data set and dividing the result by the number of values you added. Again, it's important to remember that this is another word for average. Again, we add up all the values and then divide that sum, that total, by the number of numbers we added up, which tells us the average. The second one is the median, and a median is the middle number in a data set when the values are written in numerical order. Remember, they have to be written from smallest to largest, and then you find the middle value. Also remember in this one, if there is an even number of values so that there is no very middle, we need to take the average of the two middle values in the data set. The mean or the average again there. And the third term, the mode is the value that occurs most frequently in a data set. So mode, I often will say mode means most common. Mode means the most. Okay, and median means the middle. So those are some keywords for us. Mean is the average, median is the middle, and mode is the most common. Let's try an example with these three measures of central tendency. Okay, so for this data set, what we have, and don't feel like you need to write all of this down, what we have here is the average number of tweets in hundreds of thousands at different times of the day worldwide. So let me explain a little bit further if you're not sure here. So from midnight to 1 a.m., 300,000 tweets are made worldwide in that hour. 300,000 tweets. From 1 to 2 a.m., 200,000 tweets. Now I did round these a little bit. They were in decimals, and I decided I didn't want to put decimals on here, but it still gives us a pretty good idea of how many. Notice in the kind of wee hours of the morning, most people are, I guess, sleeping or something here, right? Not as many, still 200,000 tweets. But then as people start to wake up, things start jumping up here real quick from 7 to 8, 500,000, and then from 8 to 9 a.m., 900,000. We're getting close to 1 million tweets in that hour. Over 1 million tweets from 9 till 10, 10 till 11, etc. It starts dwindling a little bit here, but not much, and then it gets a little bit smaller again as we go into the middle of the night. So our job here is to find the mean, median, and mode of this data. So let's start with mean. Remember that the mean is the average, which means we're going to add up all of these values and then divide by the number of values that we added up. Since there are 24 hours in a day, we know we're going to divide by 24 when we're done with this adding of all the data. So if we wanted to, we could write this out as 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. There's 5 of those, right? Plus 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 11 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10 plus another 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3. Now most of you probably didn't want to write all that out, but that's okay. And if we add all of those up, we get 157. So we have a total of 157, and now we need to divide that answer, 157, I'm working into my median space here, sorry. 157 divided by 24 hours in a day that we added up. That ends up being 6.5416. We can just round that for now to, I suppose, 3 decimals, 4.2. So on average, the mean, there are 6.5 approximately hundreds of thousands of tweets per hour during a day. All right, the median. Now, in order to find the median, I left quite a bit of space here because in order to find the median, we need to order these numbers from smallest to greatest. We could do greatest to smallest as well, but I typically start with the smallest values. Now, when you do this, you want to be very careful not to miss any, okay? So I'm going to start, obviously there's no ones in this data, but there are a bunch of twos. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. I'm going to kind of cross them out as I go so I don't miss any. I have 1, 2, 3 threes. There is one down here, right? So there's a 1, 2, 3 threes. Then we have a 4 and a 5 and a 6. We have 3 sevens. 1, 2, 3 sevens. I'm going to start another row. No 8s. Interesting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. A 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4 11s. And a 12. All right, so now if we have to find the middle, we might want to double check when we do stuff like the median. We want to double check that we have all the values. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We have all of our values. To find the middle, we could cross things out, the smallest value and the largest value, and just kind of keep going through that until we find the middle. Notice, we talked about the median on the previous screen, that if there is no direct middle, because the middle would be right in between these two sevens, we will average those two middle values. Well, the average of 7 and 7 is actually 7. So if we add 7 plus 7 is 14 and divide by 2, we get 7. So the median is 7. Okay? Notice that this measure of central tendency is a little bit higher than our average was, but they're still both valuable to look at a set of data. The last term, mode. Now that we have the median numbers listed out, we can find the mode very quickly. Which value was the most common in this data set? Which value? Well, the answer is actually 2. Did you notice that? The mode is 2. There were 5 2s in this. So sometimes a measure of central tendency doesn't tell you a ton, though it does tell us that there are 5 different hours of the day that you only get 200,000 tweets versus the rest of the day. So those are our 3 measures of central tendency for this data set.